Hey folks, welcome back. I'm your host, R.R. Slugger, and today I come to you with much excitement. LEGO Space is back. Oh, sorry, I thought there was a speck of dust on my monitor. Oh, I see, it's actually a huge slugging asterisk. Well, 2024 is upon us, and with it comes a brand new collection of LEGO Space sets. Calling this a series might not be the most accurate way to describe it though, as it seems that multiple themes have had this large silver banner slumped across them. For example, is this a Friends set or a Space set? Is it both? Can it be both? This Dream set has it too, which leads me to think that the space branding is a bit of a misnomer. It seems like the name has been slapped on any set taking place in outer space this year. Kind of like hypothetically throwing a LEGO Racers logo on anything with 4 wheels and an engine. It doesn't mean this is a grand return to the good old days of LEGO Space or anything. This is a branding initiative, not an overhaul of set design philosophy. But maybe I'm being too reductionist here. Sure, the box might proclaim that these are LEGO City sets, but maybe they really do belong in the halls of LEGO Space. For some folks out there, this might be a no-brainer. Slugger, it takes place in space. It's called Interstellar Spaceship. It is LEGO Space. If that works for you, cool. I think it's perfectly fair to lump sets together like this. They're all spacefaring vehicles, and therefore they're all LEGO Space. But I don't personally see it in the same way. To me, there's a profound difference between LEGO Space and LEGO in space. Let me elaborate. I think LEGO Space implies the inclusion of the interconnected LEGO universe, first introduced in the late 70s that went on to span the remainder of the 20th century. Sets released in this era coexisted and were often seen interacting with each other in promotional media. Crucially, these space sets were not based on traditional NASA design language, and often featured abstract, if not downright experimental construction. There was no indication that these were simply astronauts from Earth. This was exploration, conflict, and discovery in a universe foreign to our own. A great litmus test for this I've found is judging whether an aspiring space set is going to make a stop at planet Unitron or not. For those who don't know, Planet Unitron is described as being a central hub world in the universe of LEGO Space, a destination for spacers looking for adventure. Will you see Spyrius agents there? You betcha. Zotaxians? Probably. Blacktron? I'd count on it. All of these spacefaring factions could conceivably be found at the crossroads of the universe. But astronauts from Earth? I don't think so. This is partially what separates a theme like Life on Mars from the others I've mentioned so far. While giant alien mechs are interesting and would probably fit the vibe of Unitron on their own, the visiting astronauts use vehicle designs firmly rooted in NASA sensibilities and come off as a successor to the spaceport theme from 1998. 1999, actually. These are astronauts from Earth flying a rocket ship to Mars. This is not what I consider to be LEGO Space. This is LEGO in space. It might seem like I'm being overly pedantic about the name, and maybe I am, but to me it's what the name represents that matters so much. It's the intention behind the design language used in the set, and NASA-inspired designs aren't in the spirit of what we saw with Classic Space, Futuron, or various sub-themes that followed. This is why I still maintain that a series like LEGO Rock Raiders is a space theme. Here we have the story of a group of space miners whose mothership is caught in a vortex that sends them to another galaxy. In order to refuel their ship, they have to explore an uncharted planet and mine for resources. I think it's entirely feasible that the crew could stop for gas at Planet Unitron on the way home. Folks who lobby that the broader series of Aquazone is a space theme too also have a leg to stand on, in my opinion. While the subaquatic vehicles aren't making it to Planet Unitron without some assistance, there's an unfettered sci-fi aesthetic in keeping with LEGO Space. Not to mention, the series literally began life as a LEGO Space spin-off. And then I examine the new space sets for 2024, and I'm torn. On one hand, the white primary color paired with the NASA punk design language screams LEGO Spaceport again to me. Spaceport was a cool idea, don't get me wrong, but it has been done to death by now, with little to no meaningful evolution being made. Fundamentally, what's the difference between these two ships? Part counts aside, change a few colors, and they could absolutely be released in the same year. And that's not even mentioning that there was an entire other space theme that came between them. These spaceport successors have been running in place for over a decade now, and while they have produced some great sets, I yearn for that creative spark to return to LEGO Space proper. For as cool as these new sets appear, they're highly derivative. All I see when I look at them is LEGO Mass Effect, LEGO Starfield, LEGO Interstellar. This is unimaginative. But on the other hand, these are great sets, and they do move the ball down the field a few yards. While I don't think these astronauts are making it to planet Unitron anytime soon, there is something undeniably sci-fi about their vehicles. The interstellar spaceship in particular incorporates a wonderfully fun engine play feature that cleverly utilizes some tried and true old school engineering. It's still firmly anchored to the not-so-distant stylings of the NASA punk genre, but it's a start, I guess. I suppose I should also talk about the new orange color introduced with these sets too, eh? It's fine. Yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more enthusiastic about it, but white and orange, again, is really quite grating to me. We've been here so many times before. Heaven forbid we take a risk with the color scheme. Honestly, this reddish-orange shade really deserved a more significant introduction. I think the sets would actually be stronger without it, and the color itself would be stronger without being tied to these sets. Maybe we'll see some more inspired uses for it in the future. In the meantime, I'm still happy these sets exist. Honestly, the greatest sin they commit is simply being Spaceport 2 for the 5th time. Many of the gripes I have here I share with their predecessors, and perhaps it's unfair for me to take it out on, well, whatever I'm supposed to call this series. LEGO City Space 2024, a name that shall be revered by all who knew it. I know I've been harping on modern LEGO a lot in this video, but I'll be the first to admit that the construction of these toys is still quite impressive for what they are. While they're not LEGO Space to me, they're gonna be LEGO Space to somebody, and that matters. I genuinely hope that one day the LEGO Group will try to recapture some of that creative energy they once held within this genre. They've become so risk-adverse in certain areas, and that lack of ambition is starting to show through. These sets are one small step in the right direction, but it'll still take one giant leap to get there. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.